just the more you can spread that damage around, the more effective this pick becomes. They ban away the Black Feather. Interesting to see that Black Feather, isn't even one of the first two picks, because normally that's where he ends up.
Right, it's very interesting indeed. And we've talked about before how Black Feather synergizes well with Churnwalker because you take the counter pick away. So SK Gaming deciding to ban it away, so they must have a very specific pick in mind. I'm excited to see what that pick is going to be next time they on the second rotation. Churnwalker, SK, they're always a team that wants to know exactly what is the strongest in the update. They were a little bit behind because they were focusing on mobile masters last weekend. They were coming back from North America, so they didn't have the time to practice Churnwalker, but now that another week has passed, they have practiced Churnwalker, and you can see it here, first pick.
And also, that's not like EU as a region was totally behind, because let's bear in mind, only Cloud9 and TSM have played this Churnwalker previously. Like, this is not just an EU thing. This is basically every team except the top NA.
And I wonder if this also means that G2 has been playing the Churnwalker in scrims or something, because for the fact that no other team has been picking it, and then they decide that they want to get it immediately, because if no one else is picking it, they could have just saved this for a later pick and rounded out a composition like that, but instead putting the emphasis on it shows me that they were worried about G2 perhaps taking this one away. It'll be interesting to see how it obviously pairs pretty well with the Vox, because you do have the damage that gets spread around a bit. Those resonance bounces can start to affect all three targets twice now, but it'll be the final pick. I think is going to be the most telling. It's a little surprising to me that they banned away that Black Feather instead of picking it for themselves, because it leaves the Arden available for G2. And Arden with a Rhyme. This Rhyme is virtually unkillable when he's getting these shields on top of his fortified health.
Yeah, I mean, the composition coming from G2, the Kestrel, Rhyme, Arden, I actually like it quite a bit. It's very strong. We talked about it specifically last week, and we said all three heroes are extremely strong in 2.9. Not only that, but they're really strong together, and G2 gets a great composition, works really well against Vox because you're able to outrange him with the Kestrel. Rhyme is actually one of the better picks into Churnwalker because you're able to lock him down and focus him down. So, in my opinion, G2 having a good draft so far.
I want to see SK locking an alpha right here. We saw TSM run the alpha alongside Churnwalker, and you can do so much AoE damage, terrifying amounts, especially at the start of the game. That could be the way that they finish out this composition. It's going to be a Samuel in the end coming out from them, so definitely playing this ranged composition, which is kind of what we were expecting to see out of Churnwalker compositions coming into the first week of 2.9.
Yeah, and this is one of those compositions where there could be some difficulty from the side of G2 to get onto this backline, because obviously Churnwalker is going to get those chains down, and then mostly, I feel like G2 is going to want to try and ignore the Churnwalker to get to these carries, but they're not going to be able to, because Churnwalker is going to be pulling them back, using the Trespass to stun them all up, hook them all again, pull them back again. It's going to be very, very difficult for the Kestrel and the Rhyme to get past Churnwalker and onto the back lines, but you don't want to be focusing Churnwalker because he's just going to be healing for so much in these fights too.
I do expect G2 to play really aggressive in the early game. They have the Rhyme versus the Samuel matchup, a lot faster clear speed and better last hitting. So Rhyme is going to be invading the Samuel, trying to steal camps away. And if they manage to get ahead, especially with how strong Kestrel gets late game with a few crit items, I actually don't think they need to dive behind the Churnwalker. They can just lock him down with the roots, with the Valkyrie, just stun him down, and then focus him. Kestrel will shred right through him, especially if Vox is not able to do too much. So G2, it's looking good for them so far.
All right, we'll see if they can take this one away. Hashtag Vainglory on Twitter. Let us know who you think is going to take this one. It's time to find out if SK can move on to the semi-finals or whether G2 are going to be their first hurdle this weekend. It's time to pass it once again to our casters.
The first hurdle for SK or the first hurdle on G2's way to Worlds, Munchables? It's all about how you look at it here. G2 Esports hungry to take down SK right now. Sean Ostino, do you think this is a draft they can do it with?
I think they can, actually. They have a lot of early game potential here with the Rhyme to be able to dive in. I feel like Dark Potato does have to prioritize his boots. After he gets his first CP tier 3 damage item, if he gets some Journey boots on there, he's going to be really mobile on this Rhyme. That'll allow him to get in there and do some serious damage with those auto attacks, Winter Spires, and just build up his fortified health to be able to sustain, survive, and just continue the damage output. But But I really feel like SK, they're a team that knows how to do the aggression. And look at that.
Iris just stole the Elder Treants away. I feel like Kiana and Nakoa just took a dirt nap and boots have been activated. I feel like Hundor's about to go down here.
Double kill.
Hooking chains across the board. Hegman coming alive. SK want a place at Worlds. They're going to take 2 kills right off the bat. Dark Potato. Oh, you're a rhyme? Oh, I couldn't tell that he was meta.
I couldn't tell either, and that's exactly what we've been talking about. It looks like we have a pause here, Humanist. Technical difficulties may be coming about. Players are responsible for their own connections, so we'll see what happens. But you can already see there early game, in these level 1 and level 2 fights, that Hegman on this Churnwalker, throwing out his chains, putting people on the leash, is giving him such great his Futility of Life perk. It's stealing life, and it's allowing the damage to be conferred on the other enemies that are chained up as well. So with, and Tasty Bacon actually touched on this, with Dark Potato on this rhyme, he typically has a lot of fortified health that he's known for, so that allows him to be really tanky. However, if his fortified health is constantly getting reduced because of the damage output conferred onto him by the Futility of Life, by the chains that Churnwalker's throwing out, he's almost a mute point at this case, because he's not going to be able to have the same kind of sustain.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And honestly, look at the damage
Coming out there.
Yeah, the damage that's coming out is the AoE out of Tyrus is going to be really good at synergizing with Churnwalker as well. He's going to be able to just... The AoE, along with the conferring of the damage from the Futility of Life, is really, really good. And we're just going to have to see a lot of the resonance bounces as well. So AoE damage, resonance bounces, it's going to be really great. Hegman throwing out some chains over there.
Throwing some chains out. Keanu taking a lot of damage as well on Hundor, and Hundor just trying to last hit from max range there. Hegman very healthy moving forward. And one of the other things is Hegman also has his own healing flask. He's bullying them out now. SK moving forward down in the jungle. Tyrus, he's got Dark Potato pinned in, a little hook and chain as they take Dark Potato out. And this Rhyme is just getting worked over right now.
Yes, and check out what SK is doing, Humanist. They're actually going into the jungle, taking advantage of the map pressure that they have there in lane already. And while we have Dark Potato rotating back, we actually have Tyrus stealing away his jungle camps. Check out the farm. We have 6 farm for Dark Potato versus 26 for Tyrus. This is a really good lead, and they could snowball this. Hegman's getting aggressive.
Hegman on the front line. He's going to pop the healing flask. He's got one hook and chain. There goes the second onto Dark Potato. Tyrus. Oh, Tyrus! Okay, Tyrus is level 5 at 3 minutes to the level 3 Rhyme. Like, what is happening here?
The torment is what happened, Humanist. Hegman had those chains out. Yeah, sure, the chain's not hurting that much, it's only doing 18% lifesteal. But as he continues to go out, he can still be on the chain if he doesn't break it. He was able to pull that torment in, get another extra hit from Tyrus onto him, and that's what took him out.
A lot of turret damage coming out by SK. His G2 pinned against the tier 1 turret here. Hegman taking a good amount of damage for his team, definitely the front line. No longer has that healing flask, and he's sitting low on health, so this is like, G2 are as well, but this is the best situation G2 have found themselves in as far as dealing with the Churnwalker. As far as the first 4 minutes of this game, this would also be the first jungle rotation that Dark Potato has been able to cleanly take for himself, and he's only taken the back half of it.
We do see a Poison Shiv actually coming online for Cavalifar. It's going to allow him to do some extra sustain there in the lane during these team fights, get off some extra damage as well. And this is great because the sustain is the name of the game here. For the Fountain of Renewal actually picked up by Churnwalker. That's going to allow him to keep his allies healthy there. Dragon's Eye also picked up by Tyrus. Tier 3 is coming out across the board, and Kiana Nakoa.
Yeah, Kiana Nakoa trying to front line for his team, put to sleep by that Oblivion. Oh, he popped his own healing flask. Look at the splash damage from the Malice of Earth, and that's going to be the turret going down. Money in the bank for SK, who now find themselves like 3.7k gold lead in the net worth. They're going to drop down to the Crystal Sentry here as well. This is just very clean rotations, very easy objective takes coming from SK.
Very easy objective takes, and we saw the rotations right there. After that turret went down, they knew that they couldn't do anything about it, so G2 just backed. They went ahead and picked up some of their tier 3 items there. But we did have SK rotate into their jungle and capitalize on that turret going down and the back ports from G2. So now we see that that sentry has one life less, and that's going to be a good objective that they just took right there for late game. These hooks are coming out all over the place, and they may not do that much damage, or rather the damage that they do is kind of a little bit subtle. Not so obvious, but what really is getting G2 right now is these torments right there. You just see Keanu Nicola being pulled back just a little bit, putting him in a better position for SK to do more damage, especially with the AoE attacks coming out of Tyrus.
Yeah, Hagman and Tyrus are in deep. Volafar continues to shove the lane. It puts Hundor in a position where he wants to team fight down there where they could potentially have a 3 versus 2 advantage, but at the same time he needs to keep the lane pushed out or he's going to be missing some farm here. Vanguard onto Potato. And actually the back healing camp went over to Tyrus, so SK continuously just finding the advantage here. Hagman, he's got the hook and chain out onto Keanu, the Crystal Sentry. It's down on Hundor as well. An Oblivion over the top of a lot of damage coming out. Wait for it, came through as well. Hagman just the front line. Look how tanky he is. And what can G2 do? Keanu, he gets the Vanguard over to Hundor. One more attack would have taken him down. Hook and chain, Dark Potato runs away, able to break that by just getting away from them, using that distance. And Hundor hanging around trying to get these last hits. He's sitting on a sliver of health. It would just take a Malice Verdict combo from Tyrus to take him out. Woo! A little buddy block there from Volafar to save Tyrus. Tyrus almost going down to a scout trap even.
Good damage rotation right there by Cavalifar. He knew that Tyrus was pretty low, so putting himself in the middle of that one-shot, one-kill was actually able to save Tyrus's life and keep SK at that 4-0. Perfect game so far. It's 7 minutes in right now. We've got to see Dark Potato prioritize a little bit more movement speed here. He has great synergy with this Arden. Keanu Nicola is able to give him those Vanguards just like we saw right there and speed him up. Giving that 2 extra speed boost is really useful for the Rhyme. I mean, look how slow he is right there. He's got to prioritize Journey Boots, though, but he still also needs to get that Shatter Glass. Once he gets that Shatter Glass, he's going to be a really big damage output threat here to SK. But SK, they just seem to be so far ahead right now. They're over 3,000 gold in the lead, Humanist. We have a Dragon's Eye on Tyrus. Looks like he's working towards an Eve of Harvest as well. Shatter Glass finally picked up by Rhyme. So there's a damage output. He's going to be able to up his fortified health that way, sustain a little bit longer. But Hegman's coming in.
Yeah, they're moving in. A nice trespass there to stun up Dark Potato, but the Valkyrie buying enough time. Look at the healing coming out of the fortified health. Can they turn this around? Can G2 do it? SK dropping low. Hundor's here. Hundor is very healthy in fighting shape. It's Hegman, last man standing for SK. What a rotation by Hundor. And Keanu Nicola will chase him down with his ally. There you go. Double kill coming through for the Kestrel. And that is exactly what G2 needed.
That is exactly what they need to do. Being able to force them to stay in the gauntlet like that was actually a really smart move. That way, Hegman is not able to do as much as he wants to and reposition with those torments. The trespass, great. It was able to stun them up. It looks like this gold mine's going to be going over to G2. But let's go ahead and take a look at the replay there. And all right, Humanist, take it away.
And we're back.
Replay gone.
Oh, that was one of the best replays I've seen in a while. I like it. We're back into the game though. 5-3. SK have advantage here. Small net worth lead. They've been looking good all early game. I don't know if it was just a matter of being caught by surprise, but G2 won that last fight. Well, I personally, Sean, I want to give a lot of credit over to Dark Potato. He was getting lit up. I thought, you know what, here he's about to go down, but boom, drops the Valkyrie, Winter Spires, basic attacks, the Fountain comes out of Keanu Nicola, and he survived just long enough to allow Hundor to make that rotation down.
Yeah, he did. And Hegman, what's really important about Churnwalker is being able to reposition during the fights. But if you're stunned up, sure, you can try to stun up the enemies with your trespass, but if you're stunned up yourself, you're not going to be able to be very much used to use your trespass or use your torments to pull people away. Especially if you are in a gauntlet, you need to be able to use your blocks to get out of the gauntlet. It takes a lot of mechanical skill. And here's
Gauntlet's down. Who can get out of the gauntlet? The Crucible's there, but Tyrus is getting lit up. Tyrus walks right into it, stunned up on the edge. G2. Oh, on the chase. G2 want to go to Worlds. Glimmer shot coming forward. K-Ball are kiting back with Sonic Zoom. K-Ball 14 breaking point stacks. Is he thinking about turning this around? K-Ball, you thinking about turning this around? Sonic Zoom, 2 attacks, 3 attacks, mortal wound supplied. You have to remember, this is one of the big deals. Poison Shiv does so good against Rhyme and Arden, kind of negating a little bit of their natural sustaining tankiness, but K-Ball, he's going to look to try and hold this here. Hundor has a lot of damage output. K-Ball has to respect it. And look at that. Oh, man. Hundor mowing over this turret.
Yeah, really smart moves by G2, actually, to split their focus between the turret and have Dark Potato rotate down. They were able to capitalize and steal away the mid and the fronts, but Hegman, he's going in. He wants some more with these chains.
Hegman wants more. How about a little Torment? He's going to pull him back. On the front side, Tyrus not too scared. Tyrus, the Drifting Dark, Malice and Verdict. You got to respect the fact that Hundor can light you up. Hundor, dude, rotate around the bottom, light him up. Sentry eliminated. One shot, almost threading the needle. It will connect onto Tyrus. That would have killed Hegman for sure. Hundor throwing the Glimmer shot there into that shot brush, but you can tell. All right, G2 is on the back foot, but they can definitely pack a punch.
This is a push back and push forth coming out of G2. They've been on the back foot for a lot of the game. We're at 11 minutes in Humanist, and we actually saw their Crystal Sentry getting eliminated, going down this early in the game. This is a really precarious situation for them. They're not going to be able to fall back into the safety of their own jungle as they had before. But at the same time, we do have Hegman not able to chain up as many enemies as he would normally. Still, though, that's still 3 chains that he's able to throw out and just confer a lot of damage there, do a lot of those torments, pull them back, and just reposition the side of G2.
3 chains. That is just such a dangerous situation to find yourself in that. Hopefully G2 won't. And I think especially if you have all 3 of G2 chained up, that's just real bad, because this Kestrel wants to remain elusive and around the edges of the fights, and if you're getting chained up, you're pulled back, locked down, that's just all bad.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to kite effectively as this weapon power Kestrel. Her invis on her active camo is not as long in duration as a CP Kestrel would be, but she wants to be able to reposition, throw down those active camos, maybe get some stuns in. But she's not able to do that if she's constantly being repositioned, just like this.
A little Torment there, yanking Hundor back. Hundor, quick little active camo himself. Now, Tyrus just sieging. Tyrus is the longest range here for just the poke damage to come out, and he's done a great job. Tyrus really stepping up for SK pretty much from the moment he came on this team, but always improving. Now, Drifting Dark's out. Keanu soaking up a lot of the damage there. Hundor taking a little bit of that splash damage as well. Hegman sitting there with the hook and chain, but I'm like, where's Dark Potato, man? Dark Potato finally making his way back out into the lane. Now Keanu needs to heal. Hundor not sitting on full health either, and SK bear down on this turret here. And this is going to be more hook and chains coming out from Hegman as soon as he gets the cooldown ready to throw that. Dark Potato latched up. He's going to miss the second. They just keep walking back, out of max range to break the chains there, but Hegman doing a very good job to keep them up consistently.
I feel like a lot of these teams have seen what a really good Churn Walker can do. Ooh, Keanu could be cut out of position. He's being yanked back right there.
Yeah, yank him back. Just kind of let him know, hey man, I'm in control here. don't start thinking for a second that you're actually in control. I'm in control.
Another really cool thing about the overdrives on that Torment is you're able to get really good pulls on them. So not only can you, if you max out the hook and chain, you can also have them further away from you, still chained up, but you can also max out and overdrive the Torment and pull them closer to you. It's a much stronger pull. So that's going to be really effective once he's able to do that in the next couple of levels. He just needs to invest a couple more points into there for Hegman. We do see Clockwork picked up by Tyrus. He's got that Dragon's Eye Clockwork build going on right there. AoE damage is really good when paired up with Churnwalker, because he's able to just confer the damage multiple times throughout those chains. Minion candy popped onto those minions. Now, there's only one left, though.
Who's conferring the damage to who? Hundor moves in. Dark Potato around the backside. Dark Potato lighting up K-Volifar. Look at the stun right there on the K-Volifar. Hundor trading. Can the Glimmer shots come through? They have the massive damage. Everybody solo K-Volifar. Slow Tyrus. The K-Volifar popped. Now aces on. Chill wins some Winter Spires, some Glimmer Shots coming down to Viper as well. And that's going to be the aces. G2 turn that one around 7-5 now, 15 minutes in. That's a perfect fight. They're also probably going to take Kraken off the back of that one. That was a thing of beauty.
What a big turnaround. Yeah, you never want to be able to lose a team fight, especially getting ace right when the Kraken is respawning, Humanist. And we see those death timers still kind of low right now since it's only 15 minutes into the game, and that turret just got destroyed. However, there is no way that they're going to be able to contest this damage output from Hundor and Dark Potato is just too much, and now the Kraken is on the leash for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay there. So we actually saw the root. The gauntlet was down, stunned up Kavalifar, and as he was going down, he was just so low despite the sustain that he has. We had Hegman trying to reposition the rest of G2, but he wasn't able to do it quite well enough, and that resulted in a triple kill and an ace for this Kestrel. The damage output from Hundor is just obscene right now. Sorrow Blade, 2 Tyrant's Monocles, and a Piercing Spear working towards a possible Tension Bow right there. Oh,
I would have been spamming We Need Vision, man, because Dark Potato came around from the backside. Tyrus has a lot of damage, and he's been pretty elusive just off his positioning, but Dark Potato walked around the backside and completely caught them out. That was huge credit to him and the shot calls for this whole G2 squad. Now Kraken marches forward. Kiana pulls the trigger on a gauntlet. Hegman's there with the trespass. He has the stun. Can they find the damage? Kavalifar, but the Valkyrie's actually off the mark. Hundor, he's slipped around to the bottom. He's glimmer shotting and attacking. He's gotten 1 turret down. Kraken's still fairly healthy. Hegman's gonna move down. Eats a bunch of glimmer shots. Tyrus as well, trying to juke and drive, but look at Keanu. He's blocking it. He actually gets him. Hundor's going insane. Hundor's going off. Last turret's getting taken down. Kavalifar can't take out the Kestrel. No, he can't. Kavalifar takes out the Kestrel. He's got a double kill. Kraken's low. He get on the potato. Get onto the potato. It's the darkest potato that you ever seen. SK now. G2 have done it. G2. Woo-hoo! G2, man. Oh, what a game.
What a game, Humanist. G2 playing on the back foot for about 3/4 of this game, and they just got a couple of good aces in there, and they were able to just continue to push. Losing the fight at the time the Kraken respawn was not the best thing for SK.